Hi, thanks for stopping by. We are doing an osteoporosis safe workout routine today. So let's talk a little bit about what that means before we get started. When you do have a diagnosed osteoporosis, there are a few exercises and movements that you want to avoid. One is direct loading of the spine. So what that means is really heavy impact. So you might want to avoid running and very heavy impact jumping. With that, you also would want to avoid putting really heavy things on your shoulders. So if you're doing squats at the gym, you wouldn't want a really heavy barbell on your shoulders. That is considered spinal loading. You also want to avoid deep spinal flexion and spinal flexion that's loaded at the same time. So this is where our crunches and Pilates would come into play. This is where maybe shoveling snow or gravel would come into play, right? Because you're bent forward and you're loading, you're doing something really heavy, and then you're twisting. So you want to avoid deep spinal flexion. And then that brings us to our next, which is that loaded flexion with a rotation. So rotation in and of itself isn't bad. We're going to work on that today. It's actually good. You want that natural rotation of the spine. What we don't want is loaded rotation, okay? So a heavy weight down where you're trying to rotate, or a flexion with a rotation. So those are the things that you would like to avoid with osteoporosis. That being said, research shows us over and over again that exercise, and especially weights, are one of the best ways to help keep your bones strong. So they're very important things to do, both to prevent being diagnosed with osteoporosis and actually if you have been diagnosed. So we're going to do that in a really safe way today. So what I have is a chair. You could also possibly use kind of a box. If you have a high box, we just want something we're going to sit back on. And then I have light hand weights. So these are 5 pounds. You can do anything from 1 to 5 pounds. I don't think you need to go heavier than that whatsoever, okay? So anywhere from 1 to 5 pounds. But I do want you to have some hand weights because, again, it's that weight component that's really important to help protect your bones and develop that strength, okay? So let's start seated. And I'm going to turn so you can see me here. So I want you to have your arms out in front of you with your palms facing up. And we're just going to bend and then straighten. Okay, so it's an exhale to bend, inhale to straighten. And you're sitting up nice and tall in your spine. So that is a big part of this as well. So when we look at what we want to do to help with osteoporosis and help keeping our bones strong, one is adding that weight component like I talked about. Another is keeping yourself flexible, which is a great place that Pilates comes into play. Another is working on your posture. And then the final piece we like to include is balance. So all of those come together to form a really great workout that is very safe for osteoporosis and to help keep those bones strong, okay? One more. Come up halfway and then arms reach out and arms reach in. So you want to make sure you're breathing as you do this. Exhale out, inhale in. Nice job. Now you can do these movements without weights, all right? And there's always benefit to that. But like I said, with osteoporosis specifically, I want you to try to have some light hand weights. It's that resistance component that is going to help you, okay? One more. Nice job. Let's bring the arms out to the side. Palms are facing forward. And you're going to reach up overhead and then come back down. Nice job. So you can be seated for these. You can definitely be standing for these as well. And again, keep that breath going. And it is okay if these feel hard, if you're not used to these motions. It's also okay if it feels a little easy, right? This is our warm-up, so you might be very used to these. Either way is fine. Just know that you're doing something very good for your body by being here. Good, one more. Nice job. Arms come down. Keep one weight. Let's keep it in the left hand. And then I'll show you what we're going to do. It's called a bent over row. You're going to have your right hand on the chair. You can either have it down low or you can have it up high. Your left foot steps back. And then what I'm going to do is pull the arm in and let it go. So yes, the most typical or the most common places to be diagnosed with both osteopenia and osteoporosis in women would be the hips and the spine. But it's still really important to make sure you're doing some weights and resistance up in the upper body too, okay? Keep pulling the shoulder blade back and in. So I have my front knee back and I have my back leg straight. Pull it up, stay here, reach the hand back and in so my elbow stays at my side. If you don't have hand weights that feel like the right resistance for you, you can use cans of soup, cans of beans, full water bottles. So don't stop or give up just because you don't have fancy hand weights. There's always something you can use at home. Last one. Nice job. Okay, now what I want you to do is stay here. Again, you're going to use that chair for balance if you need it. And you're going to step that left foot back a little bit farther. And we're going to do little lunges where you bend the back knee down and then up. Okay? Your feet need to be very wide, far apart on this one. So you have a long stance so that that front knee doesn't go over the toes. We just want it to stay right over the ankle. And again, hang on to a chair or the wall for balance. That is very acceptable. Okay? 3, 2, 1. Nice job. Put the weight down. You're going to step in for me. Now here too, hang on to that chair if you need it. What I want you to do is have the left leg behind you and just a little lift. So we're working a little more balance here. So just a small little lift of the leg back. Last 2, 1. Bring the leg to the side and do the same thing. So I'm lifting my leg straight to the side. This is what it looks like. I'll just turn so you can see. Okay. Good. Last 2. Nice job. Shake it out. And let's move to the other side. So I'll just turn here. You have the weight in your right hand now. The left foot is forward. The right leg is back. And we're going to pull up for our row. So again, left knee is bent. Right knee is straight. You have your left hand resting somewhere on your chair or your counter. Again, whatever's close. And you pull the elbow up and squeeze the shoulder blade into the middle of your back as you do that. And 3, 2, 1. Keep it lifted. Kick back and bend. Kick back, bend. You are going to start to feel this in all body parts, really. Everything's working here. We're doing this full body workout. Last 2. Nice job. So from here, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to lengthen my stance a little bit more, and then I'm going to bend that back knee down and up. So now we're getting some resistance training into those legs. But the spine is not loaded, so a very safe position. So if you're confused about what that means, it means that I would have a weight resting on my shoulders doing this. By holding it in my hand, I'm not loading my spine. 3, 2, 1. Okay, the weight comes down. I'm going to bring my legs together. I'm going to hold on to my chair here. The right leg goes back, and I'm just going to do a little lift. So a lot of balance work, a lot of work in that leg that's lifting. It doesn't go very far. 3, 2, 1. Take it out to the side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job. Okay, I'm going to have you take both weights. Now, what we're going to do is some resistance training for the legs. We're going to go into a squat position. So if you don't have weights or if this feels too hard, this is an exercise that's fine to do without the weights. It's still going to give you some resistance, okay? So we're actually going to start seated. Your legs come out. They're about shoulder distance apart, slightly turned out. And I like to have the weights right here at my chest. And then I'm going to stand up. And I'm going to sit back down. But you'll see I'm not getting comfortable. I'm not getting comfy cozy when I sit back down. My bum is just barely touching to come back. So the chair is a nice thing to use if you're not really comfortable with squats, because it's kind of like a safety net. You know it's there. If you are super comfortable doing squats, you might not need the chair, okay? You would just be here, and that's fine too. But you can see my body looks the exact same, right? I didn't change my form at all. So with the chair, I was just right on the edge, the front edge. Good job. You can bring the weights to your sides also. To be honest, that ends up being a little bit harder for me. So I like to have them here. But either way is fine. Just don't have them up on your shoulders. Okay? 3 and 2. 1. Nice job. Hands come down. That was a great, great job.
Thanks so much for stopping by. Remember, subscribe to my channel and you'll be notified every time a new video comes up. Like and comment on this video and let me know what you thought. You can also always come over to jessicavallantpilates.com to find all the resources I have for living a healthy lifestyle, including full-length workout videos, healthy recipes, and a community I would love for you to be a part of. So I'll see you there.